Hey everybody, thanks for watching the VSO Gun Channel. We're out here on the range today. It is always a good day when we're out on the range. And today's an especially good day because we have something very unique to show you. This is the X-Sight. This is a day-night optic from ATN, and it's currently located and mounted up on a C308 rifle from Century Arms. This thing has a lot of features that we're going to be hopping into. We're going to go ahead and run down to the short side of the range and get into them. So before we jump into the digital interface on this thing, I wanted to give a few points on the exterior portions of the optic. So what we have here, we have a control interface on the top. Over here we have a battery port that houses 4 AA batteries. They suggest using lithium cells. Right now I've got alkaline cells in there just to kind of test the battery life with that type of battery. There's another hatch right here that allows you to input SD cards for recording. This thing is capable of recording 1080p video at 30 frames per second and 60 frames per second 720p video. There's also a port for an HDMI cord in there should you desire to use that. This thing also has a rear eyepiece to shield you from any recoil. Allows you to completely black yourself out if you're using this thing at night. And the other thing that this thing has, real quick, is a sunshade should you desire to use it. Some of the places that we're going to be shooting here in a minute are a little bit on the bright side. So this thing just goes ahead and threads. If I wasn't stupid. There we go. It threads right in there. There is a rear and front focus, so that you can really dial in on that. All of your zooming capabilities are all digital. They're all handled within the digital interface, which we're going to hop into right now down at the other end of the range. Usually I like to run the Electronic Ear Pro, but on my recent trip to Florida, some D-bag broke into my truck and stole my Electronic Ear Pro. So we're going to run with plugs today. So without further ado, I'm going to take it all the way back out on the zoom here. And drill this target. Awesome. So what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to go ahead and move back to 150 yards and then out to 2 and 3 and see if we can't put some shots in steel with this X-Sight. So I'm out here at about 150 yards and I have this thing zeroed at 35 meters. So this should put me on target just a little bit. I should have to aim a little bit low. But we're going to go ahead and see if I can't ring that thing with this X-Sight at this range. So see if I can't get out of your way here on this thing. I don't know how much in the way my fat head is. I'm going to try and cheat over here a little bit. Man, every single one of my vehicles needs one of these little racks on the front of it. I don't know who makes these things, but they're all getting it because this thing is super stable. We're going to go ahead and move it back a little bit and see if we can't do some more damage. All right, we're back here at 350, and according to my ballistic calculation, this is the maximum distance that I can shoot in center and still hit the plate without doing any ballistics compensation. So what we're going to go ahead and do is go ahead and see how this thing is maintained zero over the course of about 2 or 3 magazines of Hot Shot Elite. Here goes nothing, guys. If I can get my Ear Pro in. I hate these things. Trigger's a little bit mushy on the C308, but make it do. Oh, that was all me. That was all me. jerk the trigger on that one. Go ahead and load it a little bit more. Swinging that target. Let's go ahead and back her all the way off, see what we can do. Oh, this is way too much fun. Face. Oh, that was totally me. Getting too carried away here. Darn it. Alright guys, so what we're going to go ahead and do is I've expended all of the 308 ammo I allotted myself for this today. What we're going to go ahead and do is run up to the other end of the range, and we're going to go ahead and toss this thing on the gun that we're going to be using to night hunt with. So stay tuned. One of the things I wanted to show you guys, in addition to the cool carrying case that this thing comes with, is pretty spacious. Got some quick start guides and an insert and a few other things. It's pretty big in here. I've been using it to carry around my magazines all day. They're all out of it since I've expended all the ammo. But this is the infrared illuminating module that you can put on the side of the optic. So if we reflect the optic over here, I'm going to try and keep this thing up here so you guys can see, this thing will mount directly to this pick rail that's on the side right here. It's actuated by holding the two buttons down right here, and I don't know if you guys can see that in this light. This is an infrared illuminator, so probably not, and there's an indicator on the back that shows you that it's running. Plus and minus. We're going to go ahead and turn it off, save it. Runs on two CR123s, and we're going to use that thing here in a minute. The only problem I have with this optic in this setup is this was really well thought out for filming purposes. This was not so well thought out for use on rifles like this one. As you guys can see, this rifle has a ring sight on the front here, and that infrared illuminator here, located right here, is casting a lot of glare on that front sight, and it's obscuring a little bit of the picture through this thing in the nighttime. Maybe I'll have some video of that that I can roll in here, but what we're going to go ahead and do is go ahead and down and mount this thing on a different gun that we're going to be using for night hunting. So we'll see you guys here in a little bit down on the other side of the range. So now it's on my standard rifle, and what we're going to do is talk a little bit about the user interface on this thing. Unfortunately, this thing will not allow me to record the interface itself. Ooh, that's annoying. Will not allow me to record the interface itself, but I will get some screenshots in here for you guys so you can see what I'm talking about. This thing comes with 9 different reticles, 3 different colors, 3 different reticles, a duplex with a dot in the center, a standard duplex, and a duplex with the center missing. Red, green, and black. Variants of all. What we're going to go ahead and demonstrate right now is the one-shot zero capability of this thing. It's kind of neat, and what it allows you to do is to take a shot, use the computer software in this thing to move your reticle where it needs to be and confirm zero with another shot. So we're going to go ahead and roll into that right now after I go back and set up my target that just blew down. So what we have here is our group of 3 that I just shot right here. I went ahead and shot 3 just to make sure that we got the correct group because there are a bunch of different holes on here. But what we're going to do is use the software in that thing and draw this group down onto target here in pretty quick fashion. All right, so I've gone ahead and brought this, brought the reticle down a little bit. We're gonna go ahead and take one shot and see how I did on the correction. So what we have here is some fairly shitty shooting on my part. That case is a little bit wobbly of a rest. I need to get a better rest and get this thing really dialed in. But you can see here is our original group, and then I drew the thing down, and here is our shot right here. So one shot correction, take a shot. You basically, what you do is you put the green marker, the current 0 is what the green marker indicates in the software, put it on the bullseye, and then you draw your reticle up from there to your group, and what it does is draw the whole thing down to your desired point of impact. And what we're going to go ahead and do is make some more adjustments, and this thing will be ready for some nighttime shooting. So hopefully we'll be able to bag like a coyote or something like that on film. Now that said, I'm going to go ahead and correct this thing. We'll catch up with you guys here in a minute. We're out here on the range. I have the X sight mounted up on my AR-15, and we're going to wait just a little bit longer for it to get dark enough to use the night vision, and then we're going to show you guys what it's like to ring some steel at night with the X sight. Stay tuned. Alright guys, as you can see, it's just about dark. It's in the twilight hours right now. It is just dark enough now that I can start to use the night vision. Obviously no illuminator or anything like that. We're going to go ahead and drop a few down there and see what this looks like. What I've got here is, I'm going to go ahead and turn my laser on so you guys can see here. Right here is a round target, and then we have three silhouettes, one here, one in here, and one over here. Go ahead and kill that. As I said, contrast is a little low right now because there's so much light bouncing around outside. We're going to go ahead and see if I can't drill one or two of these things right now before we get full darkness. There we go. Adjust my focus here, guys. Sorry. There you go. You should be able to see that a little bit better. I know I can. There we go. All right, there's that. I'm going to move to the target out there at 100 yards. Okay. And then we've got two targets out there at 150. All right, we're gonna let it get a little bit darker, and then I'll pick you up with you guys in full darkness. All right, so now we are in total darkness, except for the moonlight. I can only see about 20 feet in front of me. Definitely can't see the targets at all. I'm gonna go ahead and turn this GoPro a little bit, see if you guys can see anything. I suspect not. But we're, for all intents and purposes, in total darkness. And what we're gonna go ahead and do is see if I can't smack those targets. We're gonna start out with a no infrared illuminator on this thing, just to give you guys an idea. And I will apologize for the last sequence. There are a few misses. I had to do a quick point of impact correction. I put a new flash suppressor on the end of this thing. because the A2 wasn't doing it for me, and I had a point of impact shift. So here goes nothing, guys. Start out with the closest target. Very cool. Put one on the dark target at 100. There we go. I don't know what that was about. 100. Cool. And 150. Very cool. All right. Now what I'm going to go ahead and do is turn on the infrared booster here. There we go. Infrared illuminator's on. I'm going to turn it all the way up so we can see the difference there. And you can see there's a sizable difference there. We're going to go ahead, finish out this magazine. As you can see, there's a little bit of gas coming there. We really need to get a suppressor on the end of this gun. But you can see it really helps illuminate some of those lighter colored targets that were before kind of blended in just a little bit. The dark stuff, you don't really have that much of a problem. Still might be tending a little bit to the right here. Yeah, we're still impacting a little bit to the right. And we're going to take it out to 150. I'm going to turn on my other infrared illuminator here, just for the heck of it, if I can remember how to do it. Yep. And give you guys a little bit of laser on this thing. Yeah, see, we got a little bit of a deviation there. So lasers are washing that light target out a little bit. There we go. Go back to the dark target here. And 150. Yeah, so far it looks like trust the laser. Maybe not completely. Huh. I'm bound to turn. I'm going to hit that 150 again. Unfortunately we're out of ammo, and it looks like I need to tighten down my laser because she's shifting a little bit. That's unfortunate. Anyway, we'll pick up with you guys back at the range in the daylight. Alright, so more remarks on the X-Sight. There are a few functions that we didn't actually get to in this thing because the interface didn't allow me to record the various functions. I did have some screenshots in there so you guys could see the big ones. But I mean, it has GPS, geotagging, Wi-Fi connection, compass. It even has a speedometer. I'm not entirely sure what that would be used for, but hey, who knows? Maybe you're hauling ass in an ATV or something like that and you want to clock your speed. I'm not entirely sure, but that said, it's a pretty deep sight. But there are a few things that I would like to see future iterations of this thing include. The first thing that I would like to see changed in future iterations is an update to the software. What I would like to see is the ability to record all of the interface inputs within this thing. And for me, I would like to, as an end user, be able to track all the changes that I've made in it. Specifically in the zero change. So if I were to pass this optic around on multiple different guns, I would like the ability to save like a 0 for this gun, and then I'd like to be able to save a 0 for my C308, and then I'd like to be able to save a 0 for my M1A, or something like that, and be able to name them and record them over the course of time. I have a 32 gigabyte SD card in this thing. I can save all kinds of data in this thing. I do like that it has the ability to record various resolutions. I would like to see them increase those as well. I'd like to be able to take this thing down to 480p and do like a 90 frames per second or something like that. That would be cool. Now, obviously, you know, that is speaking as a film guy, as a reviewer. Those are not necessarily needed things. As far as everything else is concerned, the only other issue that I would say that should probably be addressed is this is a digital zoom optic, so you can expect that there to be a little bit of fuzziness in the long range zoom capabilities. This thing is offered in an even more powerful optic version that's got even more magnification. I would like to see the focal depth of the front objective widen a little bit. And what I mean by that is there's a very, very fine range when you're zeroing in on your perfect zoom. I would like to see that widened a little bit so that it's not so sensitive. Now, again, this is me nitpicking this thing. Now, that said, price point on this thing, somewhere between $600 to $800 for a piece of night vision. I mean, come on. I mean, I'm willing to give a little bit here or there for something like that. But that said, this thing's pretty solid. We are going to be doing a lot of night filming with this thing. You'll probably see some video filmed with this thing too, because as you guys can see through video, the resolution is actually pretty good. I would call it a 1080p on this thing. A lot of optics are going to claim that. I had some silly site for my bow that said it claimed 1080p, and I should have known better. It was written in Chinese, but sure enough, no. As far as other changes, perhaps more depth in the reticles. Once you zoom all the way out there, the reticle gets a little bit blocky. Perhaps change that up a little bit, make it a little bit more fine in the future firmware updates, stuff like that. So things that I took away from my experience with the X-Sight that were really, really favorable was the user interface was so intuitive that I didn't really have an issue with anything that I tried to do with it. I learned the zero correction interface with like one mistake just by doing it backwards because I'm an idiot. But other than that, very easy to use, very easy to manipulate the various settings in there and mold it to the purposes that I need. Battery life. With the alkaline cells, I would say that it could use some work in that arena. Yes, the manufacturer does suggest use of the lithium cells. That's what I got in it now. The lithium cells are what you need to use. They last substantially longer than your straight alkaline cells, and they reduce the weight a little bit. This thing is a little bit chunky, which for a night vision optic you would expect. As far as the zoom capabilities and everything, as we mentioned before, very easy to use right here. Very easy to take pictures and video, push of a button, no crazy nuances there. There is a section in the user interface for ballistics drop compensation. It says in parentheses next to it, experimental. So I am assuming they're still working on that. But if it's anything like the one-shot zero capability of this site, I think it's going to be pretty neat. And I'm looking forward to seeing the software for that when it comes out. I have not tested it yet because it says experimental next to it. But maybe I'll get to playing with it a little bit later. So be looking out for updates on that. The stock infrared illuminator is pretty powerful. I would say that it's a little bit more powerful than the TLR VIR, which is what I have right here. I think it's pretty good. Once again, I would suggest mounting it forward of the optic, especially if you have anything like perhaps this could provide some glare, or even if you have a really long barrel. I would see perhaps the best application for this particular sight would be to be on a dedicated hunting rifle of the AR-15 variety that is a short-barreled rifle. So I would suggest if you've got an SBR out there with a chopped-down barrel, to go ahead and mount something like this on it for your nighttime hunting purposes, perhaps even suppressed. And the reason that is this thing is just a little bit heavy, especially this is manageable. I was able to walk around all night with this thing, no problem. But for instance, on that C308, it got a little bit heavy for me. But of course, you're going to have that with a roller lock versus a direct impingement gun. All that said, guys, that is a look at the X-Sight. Thank you guys very much for watching the VSO Gun Channel. Thanks very much for checking out the X-Sight. Links in the description for all the relevant places that you need to go to learn more about this thing and get one. And we're going to go ahead and burn up some more of this ammo.